I'm Dennis, Vice President for Ministry Partnerships here at SAT7, and I've just spoken to a men's Bible study here in Big Canoe. And Harry, thanks for inviting me to this Bible study that you have every Friday morning here. And
thanks for coming.
Just say hi to our Facebook crowd.
Good morning.
And you first learned of SAT7 when you were living in Hong Kong. I think it's an interesting story that on the opposite side of the world from SAT7, you learned about SAT7 and you got your church involved. Tell us a little bit about that church in Hong Kong that you were part of.
Oh, we were part of a wonderful church in Hong Kong with over 30 nationalities, Kowloon International Baptist Church. We had a wonderful ministry there for almost 13 years. It was a ministry of stretching, trying to understand different things in different places.
Different worldviews and different paradigms.
Oh my, we dealt with a lot of different worldviews.
And what was interesting last night, we're talking about it, and he had a church of about 700, and they didn't have a parking spot. Isn't that that's amazing for us Americans to think that you can have a big church and not have any parking?
It was a commuter city.
That's right.
And people came by public transit, or they came and parked. They paid to park, and some parked illegally and paid the fine. And said it was part of the cost of going to church.
Wow. And would any of us here be willing to pay a parking fine and it would just be part of a Sunday an opportunity to go to church?
Well, we won't go into that.
Okay.
But the hunger for the gospel was fantastic in Hong Kong, and we had a beautiful ministry there. A meaningful time for us.
And your church there learned about SAT7. Tell us about that.
Well, one of your representatives, Kurt, came by and spoke to me, and he just opened my mind to the world of ministering in the Middle East and trying to help people in the Middle East, how contact people, use the satellites. I'd never thought about using satellite outside of telecasting a worship service. And this was quite a different picture.
Right. And then beyond just information, your church became financially involved and got pretty excited about SAT7.
Yes, SAT7 was part of our own approach to giving to worldwide work. And therefore, our people were very interested in giving specifically to the way children are approached in SAT7. Because the values that children need are broadcast through SAT7.
And a few years ago, you had the opportunity, well, you've retired now, or you've left Hong Kong, you're living here, but you had a chance to go to the Middle East, and you went to Turkey and visited and saw the 7 churches and actually went to the studio, right?
We were in Istanbul. We saw the studio in Istanbul, saw the way that the programming is put together, saw the way the people work, and we're again amazed at the efforts that are put in on broadcasting.
So really appreciate the way that you've come back, and I know we connect on LinkedIn and some of that, and you like some of the stuff, and we just want to encourage people, get on our social media, our LinkedIn, our Facebook, and like our contact and interact with our contact like you do. That's very helpful. And then Harry invited us to his Bible study, and maybe you have a Bible study or group or a business group. You can invite SAT7 too. We'd be glad to come. And your guys, this is like new information for them this morning.
You opened some new windows, new doors for our people, because they never thought about presenting the information, the biblical information or the gospel, the way it's being presented by satellite.
Right.
All across North Africa and the Middle East.
Right. So this is a great opportunity, and we're really appreciative of the invitation. And again, encourage others that are watching to get in contact with us. You can get in contact with us at usa@sat7.org. Send us an email, they'll forward it on, and we'd be glad to come to your group.
One of the things that is very important to us is to recognize there are people who can get a hearing and people who cannot. And sometimes we think that the only way that we can do the work we're called to do is to send somebody. However, sometimes sending the message where it can be heard in the language of the people and address the heart needs of people is more easily received than it is when we seek to send somebody who doesn't know the culture and doesn't understand the people and doesn't speak the heart language. And so we got behind SAT7 because they go where we can't go. They communicate what we want to communicate but don't know how to communicate. We can partner with them. and we're doing that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, and we encourage others of you to partner with us. And if you go to our website, there's a page on partnership, and encourage you to go check it out and see different ways that you can be involved in this mission and vision to see a growing church across the Middle East and North Africa, to see a church that's confident in its faith and in its witness, contributing to its culture and to its society. And invite you to join that vision. Check SAT7's website, sat7usa.org, for more information. Again, we appreciate our Facebook fans and appreciate having this invite to come and get to know you guys better and speak to your group this morning.
Listen, Dennis, thank you for coming. I looked around at the men. 1, they were quiet. 2, they weren't looking at their telephones. 3, all but 1 were awake.
That's right.
And
there'll be one in almost every crowd, maybe.
Oh yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah. You know,
I had a good visit with him afterwards.
I had a man one time who used to go to sleep every time I stood up to preach, and I talked to him about it, and he said, "Don't worry, I trust you." Well, I've discovered there's some folks that go under the guise of trust when maybe they don't, but nevertheless, he trusts you.
Yeah, and you have a lot of experience in preaching. How many years have you been preaching?
Almost 50.
Almost 50 years. And what are some of the states? Texas,
Mississippi, and then almost 13 years in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah. So you've seen a lot.
We've seen. I've been in a church that was called a church, but it was smaller than most Sunday school classes.
Oh yeah.
And I've been in a church that was the tall steeple of a major city in the U.S. and certainly enjoyed the Hong Kong experience.
Great. Well, again, it's been great to be here with you, and thanks for this invite, and we trust you all have a great day.
Have a super day, and look for somebody you can encourage.